This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins, attorneys for Charlotte's startup community.
Show of hands, how many of you guys have donated to charity in the last year? All right, generous crowd, that's great. So I'm going to tell you a true story about the Alzheimer's Association of Hawaii. So they support around 31,000 people that are impacted by Alzheimer's. And they were running low on funds, so they decided to do a fundraising campaign using a solicitation firm. And in about 2 weeks, they raised $16,000. So the question is, how much do you think they got to keep after they paid all the fees? 80%, 50%, 20%? In fact, they kept 0.1%, or 20 bucks. That means you just gave $100 and not even $1 is going to go to the charity. So let me ask you this. What if there was a company built from the ground up to fundraise and build awareness for charities and nonprofits at no cost, using everyday no-brainer purchases? That means they would have kept 100%. I'm Nate Baum, and I'm the founder of Goodness Ventures. All right, next slide. So let's talk about charitable giving in the United States. We're one of the most generous countries. 2014, we gave $358 billion. That's up 6% from 2013, and 9 out of 10 households give to charity. Trends. Online giving is growing by about 14% a year, but in total, that's only 6% of all of giving. Customers are starting to demand companies to be more socially responsible, and they'll even pay up or pay more for items that give back to charity. So, I said no-brainer purchase. Greeting cards. What's the trends? So 6.5 billion cards are purchased every year. These are tangible cards, not the e-cards. And it's an $8 billion industry. So, trends in greeting cards. They now include glitter and ribbons. And it's a time and hassle to get them. You have to go somewhere. And a lot of times they're overpriced. Not much has changed over the last 200 years plus of greeting cards. So, GoodnessCards.com is our solution. It combines greeting cards and charitable giving. With our website, you can create a one-of-a-kind greeting card that gives back to charity. It's a 3-step process. You design, add your own text. We're integrated with Facebook and Instagram, so you can add your own pictures. Cards, and then you select a nonprofit, and we donate print and mail. Cards are all at $3.99, and they include a $1 donation. But you can increase that up to $50, and again, we do not charge any fees to the nonprofits. So here are some of the local and national nonprofits that we've had the pleasure of building relationships with that have been pivotal to our success. Okay. The next product I'm going to introduce is Goodness Pro. This is our B2B approach, and it's actually going to launch tomorrow. So we've all seen this picture. Big check, smiling faces. Big check, smiling faces. Now we got a mascot, 2 mascots. So this picture is going to get them a bunch of likes on Facebook. They might throw that in a presentation. Can you go on back? Sorry. They might throw that in a presentation. But what if this company gave $10,000 to a charity and did it by sending 1,000 goodness cards that each donated $10 on someone's behalf, that they sent to their customers, clients, prospects, employees? How much more impactful would that be? That you knew that $10 went on your behalf to a charity. So it takes about 12 touch points to close a sale, meeting, dinner, phone calls, meeting in a conference. We can eliminate 4 to 6, sending a birthday card, sending a holiday card. In essence, we do the work, you stand out. Over the last year, we've mailed 3,000 greeting cards to 26 states. We've been featured in the Charlotte Observer, Creative Loafing. We've built some strategic partnerships with a local printer to take all of our bulk orders, partnered with accounting and law firms, and our distributor is the United States Postal Service, so we can pretty much be anywhere. All right, last slide. The ask, we're not looking for money, we're looking for advice, mentorship, and feedback. Thank you very much. I'm going to open it up to questions.
Oh, sure. So I like the presentation. Here's some thoughts. Oh, we get a card too. Yeah. Here's some thoughts for you, which in the one hand, I like the starting with an analogy in the story. It's compelling, it's engaging, it makes me want to find out more, and it sets up your key problem. It did take a chunk of time though in a 5-minute presentation. I know at the end you were running out of time. So if you have a shorter presentation, you're going to have to figure out how to shorten and condense that story if you've got a window of time. But I like starting with the analogy. The other thing is I'm not sure from how you were setting up to where you ended up if you need that big of a setup to it, because I wrote down for my own description of a short description of what you do. You're kind of like the Tom's shoes of greeting cards. Yes, it's a product I already know, but I'm adding a social good or sell-up component to it. That's a really easy concept. I think you can get that out there earlier and faster in the presentation. So once I understood it, concept's easy to understand, I get the value of it, it's a conscious choice people are going to make. Yours is really a velocity challenge, right? I'm sure the 3,000 that you sent has kind of been word of mouth and how you've been able to get it out there. I do think you need to think about, I know you're not asking for money, you're asking for advice and mentorship. I think you need money. Any business like this that's going to be a direct-to-consumer business that's going to have any kind of scale has to have a decent-sized marketing budget behind it. It's just so rare to see it grow organically without some significant money behind it. I think you got to look at taking some money if you're really going to be serious about the business. Other than that, I think you did a great job on the presentation, and I think it's a really interesting idea. So,
thank you.
I would echo Dan's comments around the presentation being good. I obviously really liked the fact that you kind of set it up, right? And I really did like the show of hands thing because it kind of engaged the audience, and that actually can play well with investors as well. When you did that, you sort of set up, right, only a tiny fraction of that went to charity. And then you talked about charity fundraising with our model, charity keeps 100%. You never really got to the revenue model for what you're doing, because I assume you're a for-profit, not a not-for-profit.
Exactly.
Right. So that was left vaguer than I would have liked it to be. And so if you're a for-profit, and I'm a grubby capitalist at my core, so I have no problem with that. Okay, how do you make money, right? So wasn't as clear to me as it could have been in terms of how you do that, and I'll actually come back and let you respond to that in a minute. I did like the market overview, right, where you talked about how big the market was in greeting cards and so forth, and then the pricing. And then you did again say no fees charged to nonprofit, so it then left me begging the question of how do you make money. The list of your nonprofits that you showed that you've already got engaged, that was pretty impressive.
Thank you.
And obviously if you're doing an investor pitch, one of the other missing pieces was, okay, well here's our traction. Yeah. Right. Here's and again you got traction in terms of nonprofits, but how many of these have you actually?
3,000. That was
Okay. And then one last comment was on the ask advice, mentorship, and feedback. So if this was your first meeting with a potential investor, I actually like doing the ask. I'm here seeking your advice. I really don't want your money during the first visit, right? Because that always sort of perks them up a little bit, right? Oh, this guy actually is not even asking for money. Well, what's going on, right? So that's actually not a bad strategy. But I do think the piece about how you make money and what pricing looks like, and how you're actually going to grow the business, right? That piece was missing. And again, I know it was 5 minutes.
If you can go to the next slide, and I'll answer that. So to scale this down, this is ink and paper. Right? It costs us about 60 cents to make with credit card processing fees. We make about $2 on these. So it's really easy to, once we get some word of mouth and traction, to scale this up. But I'll be honest, I'm here and I'm introducing Goodness Pro as the second product because it's hard to get to consumers. It's hard for me to reach all of you guys. But in the B2B, companies are willing to spend a little bit more money, and that's actually what we're trying to pursue now. We're 100% bootstrapped, so it's really, I can fund this company until we need to get to a scalable next step. And that's really what I'm trying to find from this meeting, to find someone that can help you and say, we brought this product to market and this is how we did it. And I'm not gonna say, hey, 6 billion cards, if we get 0.1% of that, that's 6.5 million. I've learned over last year that's not gonna happen, so yeah.
So I'm still struggling a little bit with, okay, how do you make money, right? So
we sell the card, $3.99.
Who's buying?
We have the consumer. We have the consumer.
Whoever your customer. Okay.
So we sell the card. We donate $1 to charity. No fees off of that, and then all the profits come back to us. All of the work is done on the website. I literally just press print. That's really the manual process. So at scale, it can grow. It's really easy to add employees and kind of have them print and produce the cards. And then with the bulk orders, Volvo can order 10,000 of these cards. Now you're looking at 40 grand, for example.
Gotcha.
So one comment I wanted to add on, especially for your all benefit, it's one of those old adages about raising money. If you want to raise money, go ask people for advice.
Yeah.
And if you want advice, go ask for money.
Yeah.
The old joke. Having said that aside, I do think you need money. So however you go and ask for it, whether you're asking for money or asking for advice, I do think you need money to scale your business.
And one more thing, sorry. I'm sorry. So again, I have this slide up here for a reason. We want to build a customer base with the greeting cards because it's an easy, no-brainer purchase, and then go to wedding invitation. You can send brownies and cookies through the mail, so much more profitable items once we have 100,000 customers on the website that are going to buy.
Let's go to the audience. Who's got questions? Yes.
So, I see that you give $1 to charity.
Yep.
For the $3 that you keep, are there any costs related to that? I didn't understand. You say you hit print. Is there something that's being
Yeah, so
related to the printing?
we pay for printing, and then we pay for credit card processing fees to swipe the card. That's probably one of the more expensive items that we have. And then that's pretty much it. It's really simple in the core of what it is.
One thing I would recommend, I like things really simple. So to
Yep.
understand how you make money would be really empowering for me. Is that for every 10,000 cards that we distribute, we make X. And that should just be a slide. So then I can start to quantify how
Yeah.
much money you can actually
Exactly.
for every 10,000 cards or something. The other question I had was related to, have you talked to any sort of professional printers that would license this or something like that? But I have an uncle who's in the printing business who would probably be interested in talking to you about something like this. Just curious if you could talk about that directly.
Well, the good thing about social good companies is vendors will buy in, and we've actually been really fortunate to partner with a local printer here in Charlotte that will help us with as many orders as we need. Even if we need to print 10 cards, they'll help us with it if we needed that to be an issue.
They help you sell it, I guess.
We haven't looked into that yet.
I don't know how much your like consumer cards are just like one-offs, but I agree it's like really difficult to scale that. But have you ever thought of more higher volume consumer stuff like Christmas cards, New Year's Eve cards, where people might be buying like 50 or 100 at a time? And a lot of times there's a philanthropic piece that's tied to that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have over 200 designs. So I have everything from holiday cards to apology cards to thank you cards. I mean, the gamut is over. We have everything in there. And again, like imagine you gave someone a birthday card and you added a $25 iTunes gift card. What if you gave a $25 donation to Humane Society because they love pets? Wouldn't that be more impactful? Wouldn't that be nicer as a gift to them that you care and you want to show them that you love them?
Yeah, I was just thinking I sent
Sorry.
300 Christmas cards out. I sent one birthday card out to like a family member. So
Yeah.
in terms of your business model, if you can sell 300 cards to one person, like focus on more high volume consumer transactions than trying to sell like that one Valentine's Day card or something.
So the consumer's goodness cards, the bulk ordering as low as 90 cents, that's goodness pro.
Yes.
You mentioned that it costs about 67 cents to print one card. Do you have your overhead costs included in that, like the price of your ink and your printers?
Yeah, that's all included. And unfortunately, I mean, we're small enough that it's free labor with me and my fiance. So. But once it scales, I mean, we can talk afterwards. But it's really easy to print these cards, crease them, and cut them. It's really not rocket science to do this. The website does all the work. That's the beautiful. It sends us the PDF that's high resolution that we then print and process.
I was just thinking about, you mentioned bulk printing. Once you start getting like thousands
Yeah.
of orders with your printer.
The cost goes down significantly. If we did $10,000, I mean, we can get the cards as low as 15 cents, right?
Okay, last question right there at 100.
I have two questions. So basically, what he was saying, going into the holiday season, will they definitely be a full and you're still ready to go for the cost of $59 to a lower price. And also that if you do donate towards a charity, does the recipient get credit for that donation on their taxes, or do I as the giver get?
That's a very tricky question to answer because of the ramifications that charities deal with. Of like, if they're advertising the card, it seems like it's unrelated to their charitable work. So there's two scenarios. If you buy a card and get and donate $1, that comes from our company. If you're doing a bulk order of 10,000, you can then donate. The company can donate directly to the charity, and then we can just print the cards for them so they get the tax credit. But it's really tricky to explain. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,